All right, what's up, y'all? So right now I want to do types best at reading people. Now with this one, I'm going to debunk a few misconceptions here. And some of y'all might know what I'm talking about. Based on my previous videos, debunked this misconception, but we're going to talk about the best at reading people. Um, I guess without further ado, let me just go ahead and get started on it. I guess we know what reading people kind of means. Now, there's a misconception that reading people all has to do with feeling function. They make it seem like feelers are the only people that are good at reading people. However, it's not all about the feeling function necessarily. There are other functions that can help a person be good at reading people. But yeah, anyways. So of course we got the S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier. So starting out, we got the ENFJ. ENFJ is quite good at reading people. They make the best uh, best therapists and things like that. They're up there as far as some of the best therapists. Part of that's because they're good at reading people with that extroverted feeling as a dominant function. Great at picking up on wide range of emotions. Great at um, understanding the needs of others around them. Um, Now, with them picking up all those emotions, they got introverted intuition that can help them delve into those emotions and figure out and read people and stuff like that. Um, so I'm gonna put them at S tier right off the bat. Um, they're they're up there as some of the one of the best at reading people, not number one, but the thing about I wouldn't say they're number one is because they do struggle with reading people who, like myself, are stoic. Sometimes they struggle with reading people like myself. What like I'm a very stoic person, so some ENFJs really suck at reading me. Now that doesn't mean that they're not good at reading people. They're just particularly bad at reading people who are stoic, and don't show a lot of emotion. Sometimes it can be hard for them to wrap their head around people who don't show a lot of emotion. Um, Maybe less mature ENFJs, it really is a hard time they can have a hard time understanding that concept. Now, ENFPs are great at understanding people, great at reading people, and kind of like getting down on their level to understand another person's perspective. They like really great at that. Um, and they can pretty much see things from anybody's perspective. I'm gonna put them S tier as well. Um, Great at reading people. ENTJs, they're not bad at reading people. Um, Now the thing is, they're not really as focused on trying to read everybody around them and things like that. Excuse me, things like that. However, they can pick up on things with the introverted intuition um, and things like that. Now with their TE extroverted thinking makes them more inclined to be caring about tackling different goals and things like that. Very goal oriented people. Not so much worried about what people doing like that. So for that reason, I can put them. I don't know if I want to say C, maybe B for right now. I might change my mind later. Um, but yeah, they're not really that focused on people like that. Um, as far as like reading people, but okay. So ENTPs, they're not bad at reading people. Um, Now with them, they got that extrovert intuition. Then they got, I think most of their reading people can come from uh extroverted feeling, but like they looking at it more. They could break down a person psychologically pretty well when it comes to like reading people and things like that. Um, so they're not bad. Yeah, I wouldn't say they're bad at reading people. Um, they're very aloof by nature in a way. They're like very much like mad scientists and things like that. Now, as far as social situations, they can be good at reading people as far as I think they can develop a great comedic timing and things like that. Um, but when it comes to reading people, I kind of want to put them C tier. Nah, I'll put them B. They're not too bad at reading people actually. Even though it's not really their main focus in life, I don't think their main focus is on reading people necessarily. They can come to great conclusions and things like that with the brainstorming, extroverted intuition on people and things like that. Um, they do have a great insight on human nature, though. I say that, like the darker side of human nature with introverted thinking, they can develop a great insight on the darker side of human nature. So I put them B tier. B is pretty solid. They could possibly go A tier though. I might change my mind. ESFJs are good at reading people. Um, Mostly like the needs of others and things like that. They can pick up on how you feel and things like that. However, they can miss some things as far as they may miss like the things that can throw them off maybe is they can be easily persuaded a little bit um, in some cases as far as like if somebody comes to them emotional, they can be easily emotionally manipulated in that way. Like a person can use emotions to manipulate them. That's something that can hold them back from maybe going S tier, but they can go pretty high. I almost want to put A tier, maybe. Yeah, A tier. A tier, yeah. That's one thing that can definitely hold them back though. It's just they can be emotionally persuaded too easily, in some cases. Now I'm not saying they can always work on them, but it can work on them in certain instances. Like if a person can weaponize sympathy from them. As far as that's what I mean. Like person can pretend like, oh, use their emotions to do that if they're highly manipulative. Um, but yeah, ESFPs. I want to say they might have some of the best people skills out of all types. Also excellent at reading people. Um, Now they're not quite up there with the ENFP or the ENFJ. Well, honestly, they're not up there with the ENFP, but they kind of are inching towards closer to the ENFJ as far as reading people. Um, so I would say they definitely go S tier, maybe closer to the bottom of S tier, but they're up there. ESTJs, ESTJs, I don't think they're really as focused on reading people. Um, Now they can have their own level of insight on people, which is great insight. Um, and things like that. They're mostly focused on getting things done, putting in work, um, achieving whatever goals they have for themselves, and things like that, or whatever duty fulfillment that they've been put in, or if they put themselves in whatever role or duty, because STJs are duty fulfillers at the end of the day. ECJs, I don't think ECJs are as interested in psychology and things like that. So like I don't think they have much of an interest in reading people. To them, a lot of things can be irrelevant if it don't have nothing to do with working or getting whatever things done that they want to get done. Whatever they, it's not always like I know there's a stereotype where you think of the guy at work as like that's an ESTJ. Everybody thinks that, oh, that's what ESTJs are, but it's not always the case. More so about whatever role they'll fit into, whether it be a job role or whatever career they into. I'll say they go D tier. Just simply because they don't care. Honestly, I don't think they care as much. ESTPs can be excellent at reading people. There used to be a debate to where some people thought that ESTPs might be some of the best at reading people. Um, they are great, like in the moment reading people. They kind of ECPs are great at reading people. They can kind of predict what you're going to say in the moment, um, before you say it. Very in the moment predictions, though. It's not like long term prediction. I'm talking about like in the moment as you're talking to them, or as you're, whatever, they'll predict what you're going to say. ESFPs do it too, actually. ESFPs, I forgot to mention that about them. They kind of do it. It's kind of like extroverted sensing thing a little bit, maybe a little bit of NI too, but it's an in the moment prediction though. So it's not like quite NI. NI makes longer term predictions and they're broader scale predictions. But I'll say they go S tier too. ESTPs go S tier for sure. That extroverted sensing and that extroverted feeling together can be great. Picking up on different emotions and different actions of people. Introverted thinking can help them analyze those actions and break them down accurately. So yeah, INFJs reading people. There's a lot of people who think so. The debate was that ESTPs and INFJs are excellent at reading people, even though they're opposites, which was very interesting. INFJs, I would say they definitely are up there. They kind of go next to the ENFP as far as reading people. They can be some of the best at it for sure. Um, Not much else I can say about that. INFPs, much like the ENFP, they can be great at reading people. Um, Not quite as good as the ENFP, but I think they can be pretty good at it. Now, they're really shy and stuff like that. Far as like them not going S tier, they probably should learn how to get out of that shell a little bit for them to go S tier. But INFPs, yeah, they can get caught up in their own thoughts and emotions a lot though. So I wouldn't put them S tier or nothing like that. But they do deserve a high place on the list. INTJs, I think INTJs can be good at reading people with that introverted intuition and things like that. Um, yeah, I don't think they'll be bad at it. I wouldn't gear them towards being like the best at reading people. However, they're not bad. I want to put them maybe B. Um, to be honest with you, I'm trying to think of um, what would what if B is best. Honestly, um, as far as the realm of reading people, yeah, I think B does fit them for right now. I may change my mind later as I think of more things. I just can't think of a ton of things off the top of the head right now for the INTJ for some reason right now, but I think they go B tier. Let's just say that. INTPs, INTPs, they're aloof in nature. They can psychologically break down people if they use their introverted thinking for that purpose of understanding people and reading people. Um, Now, as far as them being good at reading people, I kind of want to say they don't have as much of an interest in reading people. However, it doesn't mean they're necessarily bad at it. It's just a lot of things they wouldn't pick up on as far as small details and things like that. Um, I want to say they go C. I say they go C. Um, Now, it really kind of depends on the INTP. There's some INTPs are probably excellent at reading people, but they're more so focused on their own ideas as far as like breaking down different ideas and things like that. Not as highly observant. I'm not saying they can't be observant, but they're not as highly observant as other types are in certain aspects. However, they can actually be observant though. It's a different type of observation than other types, I think though. Um, they're making connections in the moment about different abstract concepts and ideas more so. So yeah, I'll say C for sure. Possibly they could go higher, but I think they could go B, possibly too. But yeah, ISFJs, they're very similar in the sense of what I said about ESFJs. They can be easily persuaded by, probably more so than an ESFJ. They can be easily persuaded by emotional manipulation, and somebody can come to them and try to. They can easily get them to trick a. They can easily trick a SFJ by acting overly emotional and things like that to get the SFJ to fold pretty easily. That's what their main weakness. But other than that, they actually are pretty good at reading people. I think they're a little bit better at reading people than ESFJs. I will put them A tier. Um, but that's about as far as I put them there. ISFPs pretty solid at reading people. Um, Actually, yeah, ISFPs are actually excellent at reading people. It could be up for debate as if they're one of the best at reading people too. Um, they're great as far as because that introverted feeling can really give them a lot of insight on how others understanding other people. So um, they understand their own emotions so well that it helps them to understand others. Um, so people don't understand like when it comes to understanding other people that understand other people the most, it's not because they sit and analyze other people so much. It's actually because they understand themselves and they spend a ton of time analyzing themselves. So with that being said, ISFPs are a little bit self-absorbed. They spend a lot of time um, thinking about. and I wouldn't say dissecting their emotions, but they spend a lot of time ruminating on their emotions. So with that being said, they have a great uh, depth of understanding of emotions. So that gives them a great depth of understanding of another person's emotions. And then they got extroverted sensing where they pick up on like tiny little details in actions and things like that. So it can help them out quite a lot. So I will put them at S tier because they're actually really good at reading people. ICJs, very similar to the ESTJ in a sense to where they're not really as focused on reading people. Now with ICJs, they actually get quite better at reading people as they get older, and they have a lot of data points they can reflect on and things like that. They can actually become quite good at it. However, um, the main thing about ICJs don't really do good with hints and things like that, or indirect communication, subcontext. They're not really good at things like that, so that can hold them back quite a bit from being um, good at reading people. It can take them quite a long time, but like actually they cannot. They're actually not bad once they get older. But however, I will put them at D tier for that. Honestly, now my own type, ISTPs, as you guys know that I've stated before, my type is very underrated as far as reading people. Um, we actually can be quite good at it and actually really good at reading people in some cases. Myself included, I'm actually quite good at reading people. Um, a lot of I would say for ISTP, um, they can be great lie detectors. You know what I'm saying, and great at spotting BS. Excellent BS detectors. You know what I'm saying. Now, I will put us. I'm gonna just say this. I will put my type at A tier. The thing that will hold us back from going S tier is that we're not so much as in touch with the realm of emotions and things like that, and we're not as good at picking up on other people's needs and things like that. We miss those sort of things. However, we are excellent at understanding you. I'm gonna tell you that most ISPs we don't necessarily seem like it at first because we're not always um, verbalizing our observations, and we might notice, but we might not care enough at the same time. However, we do pick up on it, and I notice every little thing, like every little difference in behavior. Now, there's times when I have read too much into it and maybe misread people, but like a lot of times, if I do that, I probably learn pretty quick from it, and it goes into my file cabinet of information about maybe tweaking my approach. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, not too bad. And sometimes my introverted intuition can get in the way a little bit of my insights and can make them a little bit skewed in a way too. I would say that introverted intuition does sometimes hijack my reads on people. Um, but yeah, I think that's a solid list. I mean, if I had to change anything around, I would maybe put ESTP at A tier, the top of A tier, but ESTP, they honestly do deserve to be S tier. I can't really even say that either. Nah, never mind. That's solid for right now. And I just hope I'm not underestimating the INTP. I might be underestimating the INTPs. I'm gonna be honest with you. But so that could change later. If I find out more information about how INTPs read people, I could change that later. But I mean, for right now, this was what I got. Best I could do for right now. This is all in the moment. I don't plan none of my videos. This is my style. My videos are better when I don't plan it, so I'd rather just do it like that. You know what I'm saying? But let me know what y'all think, man. Thanks for watching.